God doing during Noah's flood? The unseen truth. Ever wonder what God was actually doing while Noah's ark was tossed around in the great flood? While the entire world was washing away and the land disappeared completely, and there was absolutely no sense of direction, just endless, raging waters. God didn't just sit back. He was the unseen, invisible captain. He was never far away. He was right there in the middle of the storm. He guided every single wave and steered through every deadly current. In the middle of what looked like total, absolute chaos, the ark wasn't just drifting aimlessly out of control. It was the ultimate safe haven, protecting all life inside, and it was under his absolute, unwavering command. He held the ark steady, keeping it from breaking apart. He wasn't letting it wander by chance. He was steering it with purpose, guiding it straight toward a brand new beginning for all of humanity. Because when God is at the wheel, your destination is absolutely guaranteed. If you truly believe that, drop an amen in the comments. The hidden reason God forbade windows on Noah's ark. Why did God forbid Noah from putting windows on the sides of the ark? God didn't just give him the exact measurements and materials. He also commanded something very unusual. Do not make any windows on the sides. There would only be one opening at the very top. Why? This prevented Noah from seeing the terrifying destruction and the absolute chaos swallowing the outside world. It protected his peace of mind and kept sheer despair from making him doubt his mission. By only having a window that forced him to look up, his focus remained entirely on the divine. The lesson here is crystal clear for all of us. You don't need to witness everything going wrong around you. Sometimes true faith requires you to trust without distractions, looking up at the Creator instead of down at the storm. Why Noah's Ark had no steering wheel? Why did God forbid Noah from putting a steering wheel on the ark? In the days of Noah, the world was on the brink of total destruction. God ordered the construction of the ark, with exact measurements and specific materials. He was told to use gopher wood and cover it with pitch inside and out. But there was one strict rule: absolutely no steering wheel. The ark didn't need human control, because God himself was the pilot. The message here is crystal clear. God isn't asking you to control the storm, but to completely trust the one who commands it. Type amen in the comments if you trust him. The ark's greatest miracle. Why didn't the beasts attack? Ever wonder why the animals didn't just tear each other apart on Noah's ark? Picture this: apex predators like lions and wolves marching right alongside defenseless sheep. By all laws of nature, putting them together should have resulted in an absolute bloodbath. But it didn't. Ancient texts reveal a divine intervention working entirely behind the scenes. They speak of the archangel Sariel, sent down to guide these beasts in perfect peace. Sariel's presence alone stripped away every single ounce of their wild, primal instincts. But the real shift happened the moment they crossed the threshold into the ark. The book of Genesis tells us that God himself sealed that heavy door shut behind them. In that instant, the ark transformed from a simple wooden vessel into a holy sanctuary. It was completely saturated with the undeniable, overwhelming presence of the Creator. Before the Almighty, even the most ferocious apex predators bowed down in absolute silence. Lions laid beside lambs, their killer instincts completely neutralized by his divine gaze. They were protected, not just from the raging floodwaters outside, but from the nature within themselves. It was a temporary return to Eden, where perfect peace reigned under God's watchful eye. If you believe God has everything under control, even the wildest storms of life, type amen. The ark's greatest mystery: how did Noah feed them all? How did Noah pull off feeding a literal zoo inside the ark for an entire year? The Bible tells us God commanded Noah to stockpile massive amounts of provisions. So Noah and his family gathered grains, fruits, and hay, filling the massive decks. But imagine thousands of wild beasts crammed together in close quarters. It shouldn't have been just a floating zoo. It should have been absolute chaos. Yet ancient traditions hint at something truly miraculous happening on board. God intervened directly, bringing a supernatural calm over the fierce creatures. He placed these wild animals into a deep, peaceful trance. It was much like hibernation, drastically slowing their metabolisms. This divine slumber meant they barely needed to eat or drink. Predators and prey lay side by side, completely stripping away any natural conflicts. Noah didn't have to fight off hungry lions, he just watched over a sleeping kingdom. While the apocalyptic floodwaters raged and crashed against the wooden hull outside, inside the ark, it was the ultimate sanctuary designed by the Creator himself. If you believe God is always in absolute control of the storm, type Amen in the comments.